Alexa, play Lush Vibes playlist on Spotify. Blessings. Hello. I hope you can hear me okay. I am live. Okay, good. I'm having some chocolate ice cream. How are you doing? Hey, Holly. Good to see you. This chocolate ice cream is so good. What you been up to, Holly? Oh, nice. Awesome. Good for you, Holly. Congratulations. Hey, Kat. Hey, Nova Scotia. Wow, I've always wanted to go to Nova Scotia. I could drive there. It would take me a while to do so. This ice cream, this Hood chocolate ice cream, tastes like Wendy's Frosty. That's why I like it. Tastes like it could be a Frosty from Wendy's. Hey, Ashley. Hey, Margie. My pizza was good. Hey, Robin. I just decided I would entertain myself by going live. Since it's cheaper than a movie, and I can basically eat ice cream. Robin, your products should be arriving on Monday. I have the tracking orders for them. They went UPS ground, and when my products actually get to you, I need you to text me immediately because I want to take a look at the product. I need to make sure that, that it's okay. Halifax, Nova Scotia. Okay. All right. I'm down. I'm down for it. I am down for it. Halafia. At the very end of, what was that? World War Z with Brad Pitt? The zombie movie. At the very, very end, they found a safe haven and they pulled ashore in Nova Scotia. It was so creepy. I always like it when you guys give me the cowboy hat. Especially when I'm like going off on a rampage. Oh, wow. That is really cool. That sounds really awesome. I'm loving it. What's up, Bibi? What's up, Christina? Hey, a bird from Oz. Long time no see. So, the last 2 summers, I have not had air conditioning in my car. It's been broke. I haven't been able to afford to fix my air conditioning. And I finally fixed it Friday. The compressor was busted. I busted the compressor because I hit something or I ran over something. And I literally went on a drive just so I could drive with air conditioning. It's been hot as hell. Oh, it was bad. And I drove to Birmingham, Alabama in June from Boston with no air conditioning. I sweated to death. Oh, wow, Kat. I have the air conditioning unit that I have. It's a floor unit. It's the one that the tube goes out the window. Really, I think I look greasy as hell. Thanks, KK. Thank you for all the love. I look tired. I need to get off live if I look tired because I don't want people thinking I look tired. Thanks, Red Kitty. I appreciate that. Do I really look tired? The other night, I was driving in my car. I was going to visit a friend in New Hampshire, and man, I thought there was going to be a tornado. I thought there was going to be a touchdown because those clouds were out of control. Thanks, Lauren. I know you didn't mean it like that. Thanks, Kiki. We've had touchdowns recently in New England. Very, very scary weather. Very scary weather. Well, hello, Pamela. It is nice to meet you. Hey, Steffi. You know, no, it is not normal to get tornadoes in my area. I have a zit. It's pissing me off. Hi, Ashley. Hey, Kimberly. Kimberella Witch. Hi, Becky. My spiritual journey? I'm still on it. I'm still alive. Don't remember, everybody, your spiritual path is your life. Your journey is your life. It's not something separate. Spirituality isn't something separate from who you are as a person. Well, I guess if I had pissed off the spirits, I'd be dead by now. I'm doing everything I can to keep myself alive. And make it on every single banned list I possibly can. Maybe. Hey, Chris. You're alive. That's good. Well, yeah. The naughty list. Every single day that you live, you get one more day to try to do better, live better, express yourself better, and burn off all that negative karma. Besides, you never know how your life is going to change. You never know what's going to happen to you. I remember back in 2010, in January, I thought it was over. I thought my life was over. That was back when I was still actively drinking, and I was drinking very, very heavy. I was drinking a lot of dark rum every single day. Like starting at noon, it was like, okay, well, it's time to have some rum. And I would drink. And I gained like 20 pounds sitting upstairs in my parents' room over the garage because I was homeless. I was bankrupt. I was alone. I lost my kid. Lost my driver's license. And then my friend, my best friend that I ever had, Chris, who lived in Winthrop, Massachusetts, said, you got to get out of there. You got to get out of Virginia because you're going to die if you don't leave Virginia. It's going to be the end of you. So I told my parents, I want you to put me in the car and I want you to drive me to Massachusetts and I want you to drop me off at my friend's house. I couldn't leave until my bankruptcy finalized. I filed bankruptcy in 2010. So my bankruptcy finalized in September, and I had to motivate my parents to get their asses into their car, into their truck, with like 2 suitcases in the back and a massage table is all I showed up with in Massachusetts. My parents drove me up the 15-hour drive to get me to Boston. They dropped me off. Chris came out, got my luggage, got my massage table, and then, my dad shook my hand and said, good luck, take care of yourself. And my mom cried and she hugged me, and I said, you don't have to cry for me, I'll be just fine. She said, I'm afraid that you're not gonna make it. And I said, I'll make it, I'll survive. Don't worry about me, just go home. My parents got back into their vehicle and took off, and that was it. Peace out, sayonara, bitch. And yeah. My friend Chris, who I loved very much, was really a true friend. He got killed in a motorcycle accident. He died. What, 2 years ago now? Thank you, Chris. That's sweet. Don't ask me questions about my relationships because it's none of your fucking business. Don't get on my lives and ask me any questions about my personal life. So it's interesting that Chris died because of the negligence of an inebriated, intoxicated driver. The reason why his motorcycle crashed into a truck that had already crashed, being driven by an off-duty state police officer. Drunk, off-duty state trooper killed my friend. And get the fuck out of here. I tolerate zero bullshit now in my lives, by the way. I have a zero tolerance policy for any and all bullshit. Yeah, and I haven't cursed the guy. I haven't hexed the guy. I haven't done anything to him. Because his trial is coming up. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find out what the courts do with him. And then after we find out what the courts are going to do with him, then we'll figure out what we're going to do with him. But I'm just going to wait. I'm waiting patiently. Hi. I don't know why people can't mind their own motherfucking business. If I got on live and was talking about my personal life, then that would be fine. But I'm not. I'm talking about something else. Hey, Fabian. I guess I've been on for about 15 minutes. Right, Robin? Oh yeah, he might get leniency in the court, but he's not going to get any leniency from my spirits. Look at my face. Am I joking? You can ask me whatever you want, I guess. I don't know. If I don't like it, I'll just block you. Non-witch person, go ahead. Ask your... Hey, Summer. How was my week? I mean, the last week of July was just painful. I could not wait for the month to be over. I don't know why July was the longest motherfucking month in all of recorded time for me. I cannot wait for Halloween. It's time for Halloween. Halloween candy is already coming out. I'm sorry, Aaliyah. I had a very powerful emotional experience today. I was meditating, driving. I shouldn't say that I meditate while I'm driving. I was driving, but I was also kind of like just allowing my mind to wander. And I had some pretty profound spiritual feelings come up. I'm confused about oils, essential, and how they're used or can be used. Okay. Do you like essential oils? Did you find my profile from that video that I posted? I feel like I earned my badge of honor. What are you talking about? I earned that badge. I earned that badge of honor. Everybody, I'm going to teach you now, okay? I'm going to teach you about witchcraft and magic. Do you guys want me to teach you something? Do you want to learn something new? Or learn something about the kind of magic I practice? Because I will take the time now to teach about essential oils, and I'll teach you about how to make spiritual baths, because that's actually what I... thank you, Justin. I want to teach you guys about how I make spiritual baths and how I've learned to make spiritual baths, okay? And I also want to tell you that the kind of bath I'm going to describe to you, anybody can make. This is not closed. This is not a closed practice, okay, making spiritual baths, because people have been making spiritual baths, aromatic baths, to clean themselves off from negative energy in all cultures around the world throughout all of time, or at least as long as animistic magic and ancestral magic has been practiced. Okay, so pull out your pad of paper, okay, get your pen, get ready to write things down, or you can screen record me, screen record this live, and feel free to repost it and share it with other people, because anything that I teach, I want you to do, and I also want you to share with other people, okay? Thanks, Storm. Thank you. Good to see you. I'm going to teach you guys how to make a spiritual bath now, okay? A spiritual bath can be a bath that you soak in, a sitz bath, or it can be, in a tub, like a full-on bath. There are certain kinds of baths that you can make that you can sit in. Those are full of fresh flowers, fresh fruits, fresh plants, essential oils, salt, even other oils that aren't necessarily essential oils. So like if you want to do a basic simple bath to clean your body off from any negative energy or funk, or clean your aura or whatever it is that you want to do, and you have a bathtub, draw yourself a hot bath. Use some Dead Sea salt, Himalayan sea salt, Black Sea salt, Epsom salt. You can even use a little table salt, okay, because salt is purifying. So you put some salt into your bath, and then get some fresh plants like fresh basil from the grocery store, or fresh mint. You can get green sage from the grocery store, fresh rosemary, fresh, what's the other one that they sell? Thyme. You can also get some spinach if you're doing inner child healing. You can also put spinach in a bath, okay? But for all intent and purpose, let's just say you get some fresh basil and rosemary. After you fill up that tub with some hot water, and you put in your cup of Epsom salt or your cup of sea salt or whatever it is, stir it up. Then take those fresh plants, like the fresh rosemary and the fresh basil, okay? And start ripping up the plants in your hands. Rinse them, rip them up in your hands, okay? And put the fresh plant matter, just throw it right into the bath. Get some essential oil. Lavender essential oil, tea tree, eucalyptus essential oil. Those are basic oils that you can find just about anywhere, even at CVS or Walgreens. Make sure that it says pure therapeutic grade essential oil, or it says steam distilled, okay? We never use fragrance oils in those kinds of baths, okay? They're fresh oils. Then take your hand and stir the water in the bath as the bath is filling up with those fresh herbs, the salt, the essential oils. Close your eyes. Call on, God, your ancestors, your spiritual court, your angels, your guardian angels, your orishas, your loa, or whatever it is that you work with, okay? Whatever your higher power is, okay? No, Lainey, we're not talking about using essential oils on the body yet. We're just talking about putting a couple of drops of essential oil into a bath. Big difference, Lainey. So hold on. We will get to that, because I'm going to talk about essential oils tonight and how people can use it in witchcraft. I'm specifically talking about 20 to 25 drops of essential oil into a bathtub with sea salt, Epsom salt, and fresh plants. Get in the bath. Sit there. Sit in the bath and just rub the plant matter all over your body, okay? The fresh basil or the spinach or the rosemary, hyssop, whatever it is that you are going to put into your bath. If you want to be a real witch bitch about it, you can get Witchfoot's book called, what does she call it? Spellcasting Companion for Physical Witchcraft, okay? This book that Jennifer put out, it will give you exactly what herbs are good for what purposes. So let's say you want to make a money bath. You can use any essential oil from any herb or any plant that draws money. If you want to do a love bath, a self-love bath, or some other kind of bath that uses roses or ylang ylang or cinnamon or something like that, you can use those essential oils. You have to be very, very cautious using essential oils, okay? Because there are some essential oils that can't be used if you're pregnant. So if you're pregnant, or you're planning on getting pregnant, or if you're a witch that does spiritual work for somebody else and wants to make them a spiritual bath, always verify. Listen, people, I'm a professional witch, okay? Always verify with the people that you're making spiritual products for that they're not allergic to anything. Or if you sell your products on your website, make sure that you list the ingredients and you say specifically on your website or your Etsy shop that if you have any allergies, please contact me and let me know if you have any allergies. You know what else you can just throw right into a bathtub and wash with to cleanse yourself with? oatmeal. You can buy a fresh bag of flowers, okay? Fresh bag of flowers. You can just pluck those flowers right off of the stems, okay? And just throw the flower pads, the sunflowers, violets, carnations, even roses. You can just throw those flower petals right into a bath and sit in it, okay? The second kind of bath that we do is a pour-over bath. And that's a kind of bath that I make on my website. You can buy a white bath from me on my website. Basically, that's more of a concoction, and it's more complicated. The reason why you would do a pour-over bath is because there would be magical ingredients that are used that you can't sit in. As an example, we might use Haitian rum, or gin, or vodka, or maybe some beer, or maybe some white wine. There might be an alcoholic beverage or spirit, okay, that's put into the bath. You can't sit in that, okay? You can't soak in that. That would be a bath that you do. What you would do, where's my thing? Hold on, people. I'm trying to find my thingy. Where's my... Hold on, people. I need to show you what you need to make a spiritual bath in. No, it's not in there. Say hello to the saints. Where is it? Hold on. Say hello to Prince, everybody. You sexy motherfucker. Ah, there it is. I gotta show you this, just so you understand. All right, look. This is a Crow Canyon. You can get this on Amazon. It's just a metal bowl, okay? It's just a big bowl. So once you have a large bowl, like this is what I make my spiritual baths in. When you have your bowl, you're going to fill your bowl up about halfway with room temperature water. After you fill your bowl up with room temperature water, you're going to add your fresh plants. Fresh mint, fresh rosemary, fresh basil, fresh thyme, whatever it is that you're using for whatever purposes. No, it's just a big bowl. You can use a if you don't have anything other than a pot that you make spaghetti in, you can just use a pot. But if you want to, this is cheap. This is like $15 or $20, and it's very good because you can actually bathe yourself like that, okay? So you put your fresh plants in there. You let your fresh plants soak. We call it giving the plants a bath, giving the herbs a bath. And you just let the plants soak in there, okay? Because what you want is you want the most volatile oils, right? Which is also what essential oils are. You want the oils of the plants and the ache, the ashe, the prana, the chi, whatever you want to call it, of the plant to infuse the water, okay? Hey, ravens. After leave them in there. Let them soak. After about 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours, come back and scoop up the herbs, toss them. After that, go ahead and start adding your other ingredients. Shot of Florida water, shot of colonia, shot of rum, teaspoonful of salt, cascarilla. If you want to put some cascarilla powder, you can put camphor. You know, if you have like a little cube of camphor, because camphor can be used, okay, in very, very small amounts. Whatever, essential oils, lavender, sage, whatever, okay? And then what do? You stand there and you swirl around. Coconut milk, use coconut milk or oat milk or hemp milk, okay? Use a milk. So make yourself a milky bath with any of those ingredients. Oat milk, hemp milk, coconut milk, any essential oil that is appropriate for what it is you're trying to accomplish in life, whatever, thank you, whatever fresh herbs you're using, and then some colognes, okay? Stir it around with your hand. Stir it around with your hand. When we do the work that we do, we sing songs to the Orisha or to the Loa. Or, I mean, if to be honest with you, I mean, I shouldn't be saying these things, but it's true. For someone who practices root work, if you're a root worker, or you're someone who practices hoodoo, someone who does those practices might be praying to their ancestors, okay? They might be reciting a psalm or a scripture from the Bible, or they might even be singing an old spiritual. But the point of the matter is that there's always some kind of praying and prayer and energy that's going into your bath. Talking to your spirits, talking to your ancestors, talking to your spirit guides, okay? About what's going on, how you want things to be fixed, what you want changed, where is the change that I want to see happen in my life. Then take your bowl, okay? Go to the shower, take a hot shower. This is what you have to do if you don't have a bathtub. Take a nice hot shower, clean the body off, and then turn the shower off and then start to bathe yourself out of the bowl. Bathe yourself out of the bowl. Pick up the bowl and you can pour the bowl on top of you and just let it run all over you until it's all the way done. Not on your head, just from the neck down. That's how you perform a spiritual bath. But I need to talk about magic for a second. People need to understand what magic is, and people need to understand what voodoo, what root work, what palo, and what witchcraft is, okay? Because some of you don't know. It's plants. It's plants. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me finish. Well, a lot of people don't like getting stuff in their hair. Probably can't get in your eyes because it will burn, but also because usually it's just from the neck down that you need to be cleaned off physically, okay? Then after you get it on your body, you want to rub the bath on your body and let it soak in. You want to air dry, okay? I'll get back to you in a second, Dolan, but that's a complicated question, and the answer is, I know that you're on an antidepressant. Hopefully that antidepressant is going to be used temporarily and you're not going to stay on it, okay? Hopefully you'll be able to find other ways to be able to help your mood. Antidepressants are really, really tough drugs, but if you have to be on it, you have to be on it. There's other things that you can do, other herbs that you can use to keep your virility, okay? Maca powder. Maca, M-A-C-A, or is it M-A-C-C-A? Maca powder is very good. Okay, garlic, fresh garlic, cinnamon, ginger root. Those are things that you need to have. You know, make yourself some, take some fresh ginger, chop it up, put it in some boiling water and let it soak and drink ginger water. Bipolar disorder or borderline personality disorder? Okay. All right. Let me show you guys a book. Let me go ahead and show you guys a book. This is for my men. This is for my males. This is for my male witches. My male witches. Okay, we're going to do show and tell books now. We're doing Ryan show and tell books. That's enough. Okay. Here's some books for my men. I like it. This is called The Male Herbal. I know it's backwards. I know everything is backwards on TikTok. It's called The Male Herbal. Healthcare for Men and Boys by James Green. Let me flip my camera. The Male Herbal Healthcare for Men and Boys by James Green. This is a very, very old book, but it still remains a standard. Oh, there's a guy's underwear. It remains the standard book. This does talk about fertility-related issues, and it talks about ways to boost your testosterone and also make sure you're taking care of your male sexual health. The other one I'm going to give you is Rosemary Gladstar's Herbal Healing for Men, Remedies and Recipes. This book is teaches you about herbs. I mean, it's really written for men. Talks about herbal baths, and there you go, baby. This is for you. Tonics and formulas for male virility. Okay. Turmeric, ginger, dark chocolate. Energy balls with maca, coconut, goji berries, ashwagandha, maca, nut butter. Okay, so this is a great freaking book. You need to get this book, dude. If you're not an herbalist now, it's time for you to start practicing your herbalism. Anybody who wants to get Rosemary Gladstar's Beginner's Guide to Medicinal Herbs, if you have never done anything with herbs before and you want to learn about medicinal herbalism, and this is medicinal herbalism, okay? This is folk remedies. This is what witchcraft was. Witchcraft was not just putting herbs on candles, okay, and lighting them. Real witchcraft and real witches know how to use fucking herbs for medicinal purposes. This book is going to teach you about herbal medicine and how to make your own herbal remedies, okay? So that's Rosemary Gladstar, Medicinal Herbs. Rosemary Gladstar's Herbal Healing for Men. The Male Herbal Healthcare for Men and Boys. And then if you're interested in making anointing oils and using aromatherapy and essential oils for spiritual blessings, ceremonies, and affirmations, Joni Keem and Rua Bull, revised and expanded version of aromatherapy anointing oils. And in this, they break down essential oils. Lemon, rosewood, talks about energy centers, talks about how to set an intention, and it gives you rituals and ceremonies and recipes for making stuff. I just dropped some mad wisdom for you, so I hope that helps. Now, let me finish my story here. If you're a witch and you're a practicing witch, you are responsible if something goes wrong with your client, okay? As an example, witchcraft can harm people for real, not just in your mind. Witchcraft can hurt people. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to harm the people that we're trying to help. How can a witch harm somebody when they're trying to help? Well, handing a pregnant woman a spiritual bath or some other product, salve, balm, oil to put on their body that has contraindicative herbs and oils in it that could cause a miscarriage. Some pregnant woman might come to me and say, I feel like someone's trying to harm me. Someone's trying to harm me and my baby. What am I going to do? And I could be like, oh, I'm going to make you a spiritual bath. I'm going to make you a spiritual bath or whatever. Yada, yada, yada. And I could give her the spiritual bath. She could go home and use it, and within 24 to 48 hours later, she could have a miscarriage. And you did the exact opposite of what you were supposed to do. And if you're really, really, really out of control and you're really dense, they might think that the other person's magic worked because of the fact that they lost the baby. Because you're negligent. Witchcraft isn't a fucking joke. Because witches, if you're a witch, traditionally, if you are a traditional witch or a folk witch, you work with plants. You work with poisonous plants. You work with herbs and medicinal plants. Because in the old days, medicinal and magical herbalism were the same thing. Because our ancestors realized when they used plants in certain ways, it created certain results, like purifying the air, or getting rid of intestinal cramps, or relieving menstrual cramps, okay? Or helping to regulate women's menstrual cycles. These are the things the wise women, the mothers, the ancestral mothers, okay? The ones that birthed us into creation and also taught us how to practice these things. Who was the first witch? Who was the first witch? The first witch was the first woman who went out into nature and discovered the healing powers of medicinal plants. And then she took those medicinal plants and she learned how to make medicine out of them, how to collect them, how to make sure they were fresh, how to preserve them, how to grind them up, how to make baths out of them, to chew on them, okay? Thank you so much. The first witch is the first herbalist, the first mambo, the first high priestess is someone who harnessed the powers of healing and killing with plants. Because as an example, if you wanted your husband yeeted out of existence, you might go to the old wise woman and say to her, this guy beats me. He assaults me. I can't live with this guy anymore. Like literally, I'm going to die. And she might say, well, you know what? I'm going to give you this powder. And what you're going to do is you're going to take this powder and you're going to put like a teaspoonful of it in his food every single day. And after about a couple of weeks of that motherfucker using whatever kind of herb that was used, like if they had high blood pressure, they could have given him licorice. The guy strokes out, he drops dead, and guess what? Everyone's problems are solved. The village drunk and the village asshole that caused all the trouble and beat his wife and kids was gone. That is the power that women had. And it's the reason why the church persecuted them. It's the reason why women have always been persecuted. The people that bring life into existence have always been persecuted. See, I am pro-female. I am pro-woman. I am a woman lover, not a woman hater, okay? And if God would be any gender, it would be a real female. And I'll tell you why. Because whatever gave birth to this universe came out of that creator's womb. So that's why the most powerful divinities have always been female, not male. Okay? Now that that's all been said, you're responsible for what you do as a witch. You have to be responsible for yourself. Don't forget, Everything you think, everything you say, everything you do, your intention, how you feel, the energy that you're putting out into the universe means something. It means something. It creates change, and it vibrates throughout the entire universe, okay? And I need you to stop thinking about yourself as just the person that you look into the mirror and see, the physical body that you see when you look into the mirror. I need you to understand you're a lot more than that. You're a lot more than that. What you really are is pure consciousness and energy. And when this physical body dies, when you drop dead, and this physical shell, okay, this carbon-based matter thing, doesn't work anymore, the consciousness that is you, really you, and your ashe, your energy, your chi, is going to leave the body, and that is what spirits of the dead are. They're energy consciousness. We're surrounded by spirits of the dead all the time. All the time. You're running into dead things all the time, or not necessarily dead, living energies that were once people. You're coming into contact with spirits all the time. And when you're coming into contact with groups of people, you're coming into contacts with groups of people that are walking around with spirits on them. The question is, why do religions like Eastern religion and ATRs depict the creator man? Who said ATRs depicted the creator as a man? Who said that? Oludumare, who is, that's the title that's given to the supreme God, the ultimate deity in the Yoruba or Ifa pantheon, does not have a gender. It's not male or female. It's not personified. Sometimes it's referred to as male. Sometimes it's referred to as female. But in Yoruba language, pronouns were gender neutral. So I don't know where you got that from. And Shakti, the union of Shiva and Shakti, at least in the kind of Hinduism I've studied, the union between male and female and those two cosmic powers, yin and yang, all of those things mixing together is what created the universe. Okay? You can find these things even in the esoteric secrets of the Bible, okay? And in the spiritual world, there are some beings that consider themselves male, some beings that consider themselves female, and some beings that are none. So what you see in the real world is mirrored in the spiritual world. As above, so below, as above. That's how it works. Okay. But anyway, did you guys learn something about essential oils? Did you learn something about making a spiritual bath for yourself? Do you want to try, maybe this week, making a spiritual bath for yourself and see how it goes? Hey, Summer. Anyway, that was me going off and teaching. And I want to tell you something else, okay? If you need to clean yourself off because you feel negative energy, you literally can just buy a bushel of mint or a bushel of fresh basil at the grocery store and get in the shower and rub that basil all over your body. Okay? You can literally clean yourself off just with the herb and soap and water in the bathroom if you want to. So you want to use fresh plants, okay? We're going to talk about Christianity. You guys don't want me talking about Christianity tonight. You do not want me talking about it. You don't, I don't know if I have time. Do I have time for it today to talk about Christianity? Do I have time? Wait a minute. Freckle past a hair? Do I have time to talk about Jesus Christ today? Bye, Anne. Have a beautiful evening. I know, right? Nope. No, I don't know. I don't know if I want to go down that road tonight. Well, my life in Weirdo, if you wanted to be socially conscious and I guess you could say correct, then you wouldn't sell white sage in your shop. Okay? You wouldn't sell white sage because white sage is a plant that's used primarily for certain rituals and ceremonies in Native American spirituality. Now, let me clarify something. We need to talk about cultural appropriation. Since I've been accused of cultural appropriation so many times, we're going to talk about cultural appropriation and what that means. Cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation for all of the motherfuckers in the back that don't understand the difference and don't understand how spirituality evolves over time. Okay? So smudge is an English word. Smudge is not a Native American word. It never was, it never will be. Smudging and smudge is an English word. You can use smudge. There's nothing wrong with it. Never in ever history in any native language did the word smudge ever show up anywhere. Indigenous people, that word doesn't exist in that smudge. That is an English word. So you can use the word smudge. So don't get me started on that bullshit. That's crazy. As far as smoke cleansing is concerned, for the most part, people have used lots of different plants. Tobacco is actually the most powerful plant in the Western Hemisphere, okay? My ancestors, the indigenous Tainos in the Caribbean, they used tobacco to clean themselves off, okay? But when we're talking about using herbs and stuff, this is something you have to remember, okay? Don't get all crazy, don't get all out of control, okay, in my life. Let's go back to hoodoo for a second. I want to use hoodoo as a example of a closed practice and why it's closed, okay? I know that white people don't like it when I say hoodoo is a closed practice, you shouldn't do it, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. I'm going to give you an example why, okay? And we're going to talk about closed practices, okay? There are two kinds of closed practices. The first kind of closed practice is closed because it is initiation-based. You can't say that you're a Usui Reiki practitioner if you have not gotten a Usui Reiki empowerment or attunement. You are not a member, you are not a Catholic unless you become a member of the Catholic Church. That means going to church, that means getting baptized, that means going to communion, and that means being initiated into the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church is an initiatic system to make people Christians. Baptisms, Christian baptisms, when you go down and you get saved, okay, you get delivered and you get taken down to the river, okay, that is an initiation. And any other at Freemasonry, that's a closed society. It is a closed fraternity because it takes an initiation in order to become a Freemason. And it's the same thing with Voodoo. It's the same thing with Santeria. It's the same thing with Lukumi, Ifa. All practices that require an initiation to become a member of that organization is closed. That's it. It's common sense. So what would be disrespectful to a closed practice that is initiatic or has initiations? Well, you wouldn't go and do things that only people who are initiated in those practices do. So let's go ahead and talk about the other kind of closed practice. The other kind of closed practice is closed because it is ethnically closed, because a certain group of ancestor spirits practiced that kind of magic and handed it down to their descendants. As an example, Zoroastrians is an ethnic group of people, and those people, their religion, Zoroastrianism, is closed by ethnicity. If you are not a Zoroastrian, you cannot practice Zoroastrianism. You can't practice their magic. And a child that is born has to be born from a mother and a father that is ethnically Zoroastrian, or they are not Zoroastrian. Did you know that? Did you know Freddie Mercury was a Zoroastrian? They're Persian, okay? Zoroastrianism is an ancient religion. It goes all the way back, as ancient almost as Hinduism, okay? Some of the oldest spiritual writings in the world are from Zoroaster, the prophet, okay? Oh boy, you made me laugh, Tom, Dick, and Harry. You made me laugh. Okay, so Zoroastrianism is an old religion, and it's closed because you have to be Zoroastrian to be in. If you're Jewish, you have to be Jewish to be a Jew, or you have to be a Jew to be Jewish. That's an ethnic practice. That is that line, that religion is for that group of people, okay? You could go to synagogue, you could become I guess a member of a synagogue or walk with those people, but you will never be a Jewish person because you're not born Jewish. Same thing with hoodoo, okay? The Africans that were brought during the transatlantic slave trade to the New World, the first boat of slaves that showed up in South Carolina was a boat that had Congolese or Africans that came from the Congo on it, okay? The Africans that were slaves in the southern parts of the United States, we're talking about North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, northern parts of Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, all of that stuff, the Bible Belt, the people that practice root work and African American slave magic, the reason why you know hoodoo and Gullah Geechee, the reason why you know hoodoo is an African practice is because of the way it's practiced. Because if you're like me and you've studied African spirituality for the past 6 years, when you look at a root worker that's working the root in hoodoo, you're going to see them using the same techniques that somebody that practices voodoo or some other ethnic group in West Africa preparing herbs or performing magical ceremony, ritual ceremony, okay? Because there's a way these things are done. And those Africans that were brought to the New World did not lose those techniques, those methods, those practices in their conjurations and on calling on ancestral spirits. It's a form of ancestral magic. And you can't use the argument, well, we were all Africans first. Yes, we all migrated out of Africa 300,000 years ago to populate the rest of the world. Homo sapiens populated the world by traveling out of Africa and around the world. But the hoodoo practices were practiced during slavery. Those practices, those methods and techniques and that tradition was codified by the people that worked the root during slavery. That's when hoodoo began. And I don't care what anybody says, the word hoodoo is it was a misinterpretation of the word voodoo. That white people, maybe white people called it hoodoo. I don't necessarily know whether or not those Africans called what they did voodoo, but I mean, it's quite obviously linguistically that hoodoo and voodoo are very similar to one another in pronunciation, written in New Orleans, in the South, that the two are related, okay? Oh, stop talking about Christian shit in my live. Stop talking about Christianity. I'm not talking about Christianity. I'm talking about root work. I'm talking about magic. I'm talking about ancestral magic. You're correct. No one owns plants. No one owns plants. This is what I'm getting at. This is the point. Nobody owns any plant. but there are people who use those plants for specific purposes. And so it would be taking those plants and using them in the same way that an indigenous person uses them, where the appropriation comes in. That is where the appropriation comes in. It's when you're actually doing the practices and techniques that somebody would do if they were initiated into a practice or if it was their family practice. It's literally the equivalent of when you're trying to make meals that are outside of your culture. I'm not Italian, but you know, if I made an Italian meal, I couldn't say that my Italian food that I made was traditionally Italian. I took a can of I took a jar of tomato sauce and threw it in a pot with some noodles and, you know, air fried up some meatballs and stirred it up. That's not a traditional Italian meal. Okay? So even if I tried to say, hey, come over and eat my traditional Italian meal, it's just fucking ragu. Because no one taught me. I didn't have a grandmother or a grandfather or a father or a mother that taught me how to make traditional Italian food from scratch, how to make my own pasta, okay? How to make my own tomato sauce, okay? I wasn't taught that by an elder. I wasn't taught that by a family member. So it doesn't matter if I make Italian food. I can make Italian food all day, but it's never going to be traditional Italian food. It's never going to be real Italian food, because real Italian food is made by people who are Italian that know how to make the dish traditionally. And it's the same thing in magic. Okay, Holy War. You gotta get the hell out of here. I can't. I can't. You disrespected Papa Legba. What the hell is wrong with people? What the hell is wrong with people? So the point is that it's all in the methodology and it's all in the technique. If a white person, so here's the deal. Let's put it like this. Forget it. It doesn't even matter. Let's say we got an indigenous person, a Native American. We've got an African American, and we've got someone who is white, an Appalachian folk witch, okay? Or someone who practiced Brockie, which is like, it's a kind of German magic that the Pennsylvania Dutch practiced. Everybody gets herbs. Everybody gets their products to make their magical bath. And all of the herbs are the same. You're using water, you're using goat's milk, or you're using some other kind of herb or plant, or some particular flower, or some kind of cologne, even if it's Florida water, even if they all use Florida water. When they sit there and they're making their spiritual bath, they all might be using the exact same ingredients. What makes it different? What's the difference? Right. So the point is that if you're practicing ancestral magic, or you're practicing animistic magic. There might be a practitioner that's making a spiritual bath that's not praying to God, that's not singing traditional songs, that is not calling on any angels or demons, is not calling on any Loa or Orishas, not calling on any particular ancestors. And that person might make a spiritual bath that works for them because they're working with nature itself. That's witchcraft. That's physical magic. Physical magic, physical witchcraft doesn't require any gods or goddesses or deities or ancestors or anything. You're working directly with the spirit of the plants. That's animistic magic. But your magic is going to be different based on the spirits that you call on. When you're calling on ancestral spirits, you're calling on the people that are part of your bloodline. They're in your DNA. You have an ancestral connection to them. And any magic that was concocted or techniques and methodologies that were concocted by certain groups of people, those kind of fall under the category of that group's domain of magic. So let's say that you have a coven or you have a magical circle, okay? So my life in Weirdo, technically, since white sage is a plant that grows anywhere and anyone can burn, yes, the context is whether or not you're using it within the same context as someone who uses it for indigenous ceremonies. That's the answer. That's the answer. Florida water. It's not closed to anyone. But just because a white person uses Florida water and a black person uses Florida water, they might not be using it for the same reasons. They might not be using it for the same purposes. That might not be how their ancestors taught them how to use it. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's based on, a lot of magic is based on ancestors. It's very different energies, okay? So here's the problem though. The problem is we all use candles. We all use herbs. Dried herbs, essential oils, we all use flowers, okay? We all use, pen and paper and all the string, yarn, colognes, stuff. We all use the same stuff to cast magic. What makes it different is not just the intention. The prayers, the conjurations, the symbols that are drawn on them, and the ancestor spirits or the divinities that are called on. That's what makes a difference between the magic, not the stuff. And that's where witch talk fucks up, okay? Because witch talk people want to say, if you're using this particular ingredient, you're appropriating, but it doesn't work that way. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not just one ingredient. It's an ingredient in a combination of ingredients, within the context of a ceremony or a ritual, within the context of whatever the governing spirit is, whether it is ancestral or deity. That's what makes something either appropriation or not. That's great, my life. That's good. Well, I said what I said. Yeah, Joey, it is. Oh. I was at the mall tonight and I found a little rock shop. And they gave me a little baggie. And inside my little baggie, I bought a moonstone and obsidian and moss agate, which is one of my favorite stones ever. and rose quartz, which is my favorite stone ever. Moonstone and rose quartz are my stones. So here's the other thing. If you know people, werewolf magic, well, yeah, that does exist. That is a thing. Hey, Samantha. Okay, well, if you're going to work with Cernunnos or you're going to work with Brigid, then you're working Celtic magic. That's a form of Celtic magic. If you're calling on those divinities, right? You're calling on Celtic deities. I'm good, Samantha. I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm going to use them for yet. But I love them. I might just sit here and play with them. Hey, Stephanie. How do they help? Well, the moss agate is going to be like a worry stone for me. I am going to carry it around in my pocket. I'm going to use it to fidget with my fingers. It's very good for relieving stress and anxiety. Oh no. Well, here's the thing about white people fighting other people's battles. There's a certain group of palm-colored people out in the world that just have to make everything their motherfucking business. Literally, if it exists, it's their business and they need to stay out of it. They need to mind their own motherfucking business. That's awesome, Bohemian Bear. And here's the thing. Let me just explain something to you, and this is why this all is very irritating to me. Decolonizing the tarot? Yeah, okay, whatever. Let's just put it this way. People are so spiritually lame, and people are so ignorant and arrogant that they think by looking at you, they can determine who your ancestors are. So it's really disgusting to see, but most of the time people will make knee-jerk reactions to people based on the way they look. How would anybody walking into that shop, even if you're white, not know that you had indigenous ancestors that you worked with, that you called on? You see what I'm saying? People are not phenotyping. No. When it comes to a human being, it comes down to your DNA. It comes down to who you are. It comes to your biology. Phenotyping does not work with human beings. I look the way I do because certain genes expressed themselves in me. I could have really, really, really curly hair, but I didn't end up with the curly hair. Hey, Rhonda. Good to see you. So what people don't understand is that your ancestors are your ancestors regardless of the way you look. And they don't change. Like your ancestors don't change. And if you want to know who your ancestors are, or where they come from, or who to honor, or who to go to, who to pray to, and you should be honoring all your ancestors. And if you're black, and if you're black, and you have white ancestors, colonizers even, you're responsible to go talk to them and work that shit out. Yes. People might not like that. But the only person that can talk to your ancestors is you. And if you got beef with your ancestors, then go ahead, light a candle, put out a glass of water, and drag their asses here from the astral and chew them out. I said what I said. Every individual person has to do ancestor work. Ancestor work is important. It's a part of shadow work. So, what I'm saying is, regardless of your ethnicity, regardless of what you look like, if you're going to start doing shadow work, you're eventually going to roll around to your fam, the good ones and the bad ones. And you're going to realize that a lot of the characteristics that you hold are characteristics that come down through your family. It's genetic. Maddie, when you buy a astrology reading from me, I do it by myself, and I make you a PDF and a Word document, probably like about between 20 and 22 pages, and I email it to you. It's a full printable analysis of your birth chart, okay, with the chart and all of your stuff in there, okay? That's something I do for people. You pay for it. I get it done within a couple of days, and I email it to you, okay? Everything that you need to know about your life, including your past life, will be in there. I don't know anything about Swiss magic. I don't. Here's the other thing about Espiritismo and Spiritism and spiritualism. You don't know what kind of spirit guides you have. You don't know who's in your spiritual court. You also don't know what kind of spirits are walking with somebody else in their spiritual court. Those are things that we... Look, oh, that's really gay. Wow, I did not know they started in Switzerland. That is really terrifying and horrible. So, because you don't know what spirits walk with what person for whatever reason, it's best that you mind your own business and worry about yourself. I've never understood why people on this app are so concerned about what other people do. Because if other people are fucking around, they will find out. It's just that simple. Fuck around and find out. Let me tell you, if I was not supposed to be here in the practices that I'm in, I would not be here or I'd be dead. I'm here because I am doing some kind of work, and the spiritual work that I'm supposed to be doing in life has led me to this point in time in my life. And if I wasn't supposed to be here, I wouldn't be here. Same thing with you. Wherever you are right now on your spiritual path is where you're supposed to be, even if it's wrong. Even if how you're practicing is wrong, it's still where you're supposed to be right now. See what I'm saying? You will figure it out. And your spirits will reveal those things to you directly, okay? We're talking about direct revelation from spirit to you. And when you find out where you belong in this world and what spirits are really with you, no one will be able to come around and shake your faith, because what I believe in is not based on faith. It's based on reality. This is real. My spirituality isn't based on like, I just woke up one morning and decided it was a good idea to do this, okay? Like your spirits will guide you, they will teach you, you will learn, and they'll lead you to the path that you're supposed to get to. Even if the path that you walk to get to your final destination is a crooked one. I am not crowned yet, but I'm getting ready to go through Itefa to be fully initiated in Ifa, and when I do, I will be receiving and crowned my Orishas. Primarily Oshun. Blessings. So, yeah. So you are where you are because that's where the spirits have led you there. Yes, it is a closed practice. Yes, it is. Orisha practice is closed. Because it's a religion, because you get initiated into it. Hi. I gotta get a haircut because I feel so greasy. I feel greasy and I feel like my hair is trash. It's like, ah. I know, I'm ready to do a mohawk. In my 20s, I always rocked a mohawk. I feel like I need like a little ponytail. Yes, it is. I'll be shaving my head. I will have a shaved head. There's no reason to do anything special with my hair until after I'm crowned, because they're going to shave my head anyway. I need a man bun. Do I travel and study? You mean with my madrina? You mean with my Ianifa, my priestess? I'm in her house, her Ile, and we meet twice a month over Zoom because her godchildren are local to her in Georgia and non-local, including me. And twice a month, me and my Ianifa have a face-to-face sit-down talk. She teaches me face-to-face. We work with our priestess face-to-face. And it's a very, very, very active situation. She's running her house very, very, very professional. She has a mentorship program, okay? So I'm in her mentorship program, doing her mentorship program, and along the way, receiving everything I need to receive in Isheshe from her. I have to get my hand in Ifa a second time. I already have my hand in Ifa. I have to get it a second time because Orunmila said I had to get it a second time because there's things that they give you in a Sheshe that they don't give you when you do Cuban Ifa. So I have to do that first, and then I have to, then I'll crown. Oh, wow. So I guess your hair is really, really long, huh? Now I'm tired, Lauren. Now my eyes are glassy because I ran my mouth and I said all kinds of smack. You're more than welcome, and if you want to know who my priestess is, who my Ian Ifa is, I made a TikTok video about her. You can go find my TikTok. It's only about 5 or 6 TikToks back that I introduced her and told everybody who I work with. So who I work with is not a secret. My mambo that I work with in Haitian Voodoo is on my TikTok, and so is my Ian Ifa. Oh shit, I only got 20% battery power. I gotta plug my phone in or I'm gonna die. That's cool. What am I studying right now? Well, right now, do you want to see the book I'm reading? It's absolutely great. Hold on, I'll show you. Because you guys know I'm always reading books. Right now, I'm reading a lot of poetry and oriki, which is praise songs for the Orishas. Obviously, because that's very important. But this particular book is called African Poems, Volume 1, Ashe Orisha, a praise anthology to Yoruba Orishas, Rituals, Traditions, and Wisdoms by Alex Coco. So this basically has like prayers, like prayers to Oludumare, prayers for Eshu, prayers for Osain, and a lot of Orishas. These are all prayers to Orishas. Okay. It's a great book. And, you know, one of the great ways to get to know or understand the personalities or the energy of the Orishas is to learn about them through their stories, through their patakis, and also to learn the songs, the praise songs, and read the poems to understand the nature of them. I got you. The Iyami, the witches. I am not allowed to make another pot of coffee tonight. Next time I want a hot beverage, I have to have green tea. Yeah, because song and dance is very, very important. And whenever my Ianifa starts any of our Zoom sessions, she always sings Oriki to the Orishas. So that's a very important part. Singing is a very, very important part of the tradition. Really? What time is it? What time is it right now? Is it 1 a.m.? Is it really 1 a.m. on the East Coast? Are you kidding me? So the thing about kirtan and call and response is the same thing exists in African spirituality. Matter of fact, you guys would be shocked to know that a lot of Hinduism and a lot of African spirituality share a lot of core concepts. And the reason why they do is because they're old. They're old, okay? Brahman, okay, in African spirituality is Oludumare, the owner of all possible outcomes, the owner of the pot that's never exhausted, okay? Karma, very, very important part of the spirituality. Rebirth, reincarnation, very important part of the spirituality. And then there are also those layers and layers and layers of reality that are there between ancestor realms, Orisha realms, you could say Deva realms, okay? So there are similarities. They're not the same. They're not the same, but they're similar. The concepts are similar because they're old. I'm going to stay online just for a little bit longer because I'm bored. Snails, you've got snails, like slugs. Thank you. I should buy some cherry juice. So you might, that sounds like you have to, when this is all over, when you get offline or whatever, text me, Lauren, because that's very interesting that you say you're getting snails, okay? We need to talk about that. Yes, it is a symbol. And there's a very specific Orisha that actually, that's sacred to them. I'm telling you, I'm telling you that we have to talk because if you got snails coming in there to visit you, then that might be a sign. I'm going to tell you what happened tonight, and let me tell you why this stuff is just so funny and it cannot be dismissed, okay? Hey, Shannon. Let me show you. I can't show you my altar, but I'm going to show you what I got, okay? Okay, so I have a shrine, I have an altar, and on my shrine altar, I have this is from Target. It was like 12 bucks. It's like a little stand, okay? And on the stand in my shrine, in my altar, on top of it is my container that is my shrine for Orunmila. It contains his Ikin. It contains his mysteries, okay? So Orula sits on top of a little podium. It's kind of like his throne, okay? Hold on, Sirius B. I'm going to answer that question for you. So anyway, Orula sits on his throne, right? I decided that I was going to buy the vessels that my Orishas are going to be consecrated in for my Oshun and Shango. So I'm like, I shopped, got on Etsy, found exactly what I wanted for them. I bought it, and I was like, okay, well, I think I'm going to have to take Orula off of his little throne, because when they all go together, I might have to take him off of his throne. All right, Sirius. You can come back and apologize to me when you get educated. Okay? We're not going to play that game. So anyway, Arunmila, right? I was like, I might have to take him off of the his little platform. I go to Target, right? Because I go in there, I'm like trying to get some dude wipes, the extra large ones for my extra large gaping asshole. And I pick up my dude wipes, and I'm getting ready to walk out, and I literally almost stumble and trip and fall over a display that has 2 more of these sitting right on it. Like nowhere close to where these should be. Like there's a whole aisle for these little thingies to be on. They were just placed there, right in my way, because the Orishas wanted me to know those 2 are for Shango and Oshun. Period. So I had to buy them. So I'm like, okay, they all want a little throne. That's how it works. Oh, I had to buy them. I had to buy them. I want to touch on the point that rude person that came into my live pointed out. Okay. Let's talk about Orishas, and let's talk about the religion of Ifa. Okay. Ifa is a world religion. It exists everywhere. And it exists everywhere the Yoruba people have traveled and taken, and obviously through the transatlantic slave trade were drugged to different parts of the world, the Western Hemisphere, and anywhere else African people have traveled, okay, that held those beliefs. Ifa is a world religion because Oludumare, who is the supreme being, creator, created everything. Didn't just create little tribes in Africa, created everything. One of the word Oludumare is a phrase, okay? In Yoruba, it's a title. It's not the name of God, it's a title. And Oludumare means the owner of the pot that's never exhausted. So, what in our universe looks like a pot? Somebody know? What exists in nature that looks like a pot in our universe? At the center of our galaxy is a supermassive black hole, and our sun revolves around that black hole in the same way our Earth revolves around the sun. Oludumare owns that. And the Orishas, in my tradition, they're the creators. They're the people that created this place. They're the people that came here because Oludumare sent them here. They terraformed the earth, and they started creating life. They're the creators. Those are who the Orishas are. So they created everyone. And in my tradition, Obatala, the Orisha Obatala, who's the father of the Orishas, is also owns everyone's head. Everyone walking down on the street belongs to Obatala. Their head belongs to Obatala. until further notice, until they go through ceremony or whatever, and it's revealed like who their crown is, who their Orisha is. But the point of the matter is that the Orishas are not just a group of tribal deities. And to say that they are, to make the claim that they are, is severely limiting the power, their power. And the Orishas are real. They're not mythology. They're not just a story. They're real. Primordial forces of nature, ancestors, divinities. So it breaks my heart that there are people that are descendants of the Yoruba culture that don't see how grand their tradition is. Okay, yes, I do. Let me show you the 2 books that I recommend. The first one is the Asheshe Spirituality Workbook. Let me flip this so you can see it. The Asheshe Spirituality Workbook, the ancestral wisdom of the Ifa Orisha tradition. This is a very, very great book if you're interested in learning what I do or what I'm involved in. The second book is called Hand of Ifa by the same author. These 2 books talk about traditional Ifa, and that's what I'm involved in. Thanks, so. But anyway, if it's part of your path to, oh, and here's the other thing. Absolutely, my life in Weirdo. Have a wonderful night. If I ever make it to Nova Scotia, I'll come visit you. Here's the other thing. When I talk about the Iyami, now we're starting to get really theological here, okay? Philosophical. When we're talking about the Iyami, thanks, Pamela. The Iyami are the primordial mothers. The primordial mothers. And to my Ianifa, Hakate, the Morrigan, Kali, Isis, all of those female deities, they're the primordial mothers. They're the primordial mothers, all of them. All the creators, all the creative mothers that brought life into existence. Divine feminine, the divine mothers. What's up, Sergio? Okay. So, Ifa is a lot bigger than what people understand it to be. Colonia 1800 is Cologne. Oh, and the leader of the Iyami, the primordial mothers, is Oshun. All right, everybody. I think that I'm going to get off live now. I had a really nice time. I will be reposting this live on my YouTube channel. If you guys don't follow me on YouTube, follow me on YouTube. I've got a great channel. And also, go check out my website, okay? Go to my TikTok profile, click on my website, look at my products and services, okay? Book a reading with me, or get your birth chart read, or buy a product, okay? It is very wise to be on good terms with the Iyami Asharanga. You are absolutely right about that. All right, guys, have a wonderful night. Blessings to you. Much love to you. And we'll talk later. Bye. Bye. Bye.